Okay, so video games are overall bad for players because they can negatively impact both physical health, promote violence, and glamorize things like war. And they also can stand as a barrier between relationships with coworkers, friends, family members. I think it's proven that video gaming can become an addiction, just like drugs, alcohol, pornography, work, whatever it is they become addicted to that hinder their own self gain and uh, relationships with others and their own mental physical health. Uh, Ken Goldfield presents a study done comparing screen time in adolescence to obesity and high blood pressure, and what he has video game playing is independently associated with blood pressure. It was a cross-sectional study done with those aged between 14 and 18 who were overweight, obese, and evaluated their screen time. The result of the study showed that seated video gaming was the only sedentary activity that played a role in obesity. When it comes to mental health, video game addiction becomes a mental health illness in controversial decision. That tells that after a lot of debate, an addiction to playing video games is now classified as a mental illness that is more common than you would think. It was defined by Rachel Retner as she has a pattern of persistent and recurrent gaming behaviors in which people lose control of their gaming behavior, giving priority to gaming over other interests and activities, and continues gaming despite negative consequences such as impairing in their family relationships, social lives, work duties, and other areas. So the more they play, the more they get addicted to playing, and then that's the only thing that concerns them is playing a video game. And they don't realize the negative effects it's causing to their body and to other areas such as work and relationships with their family. Linked in adolescent life in video games amongst vulnerable populations, the impact of violent games on delinquency and bullying among children with clinically elevated depression or attention deficit systems. The article shows the link between video gaming and delinquency in adolescence, and then goes on to show the link between playing violent games and bullying others. The cause and effect of playing video games goes all the way down to the mental toll that it can take on those that are bullied. And when you think about in later in life, it's cocoon from crime. This is a relationship between video games and crime. Proctor and McCaffrey shows the extremities of these issues and also shows just how serious gaming-related issues can get, as the title of the article. It links psychological effects that gaming has on people and how it could wind up them behind bars. These two sources mesh well and contribute to the argument that gameplay causes violence by demonstrating how it can affect both early life and later life, showing that it can, something on a smaller scale, slowly can turn into something as an adult that can turn into criminal acts and real punishments. There are common themes among video games that include things like glorification of war and violence is okay. So when they play these things over and over, they begin to think these acts are nothing more than everyday events, killing and violence. There's a counter argument that video games are nothing more than an activity to pass time and bring people joy. and that's okay in moderation to play a video game every once in a while. But it becomes a problem when people slowly fall into being addicted to the game, and they don't realize that they're doing that. In conclusion, I think it's been proven that someone who becomes addicted to a video game doesn't realize the toll they're putting on their physical and mental health, and the barriers that they are putting in to their home life, to their families, wives, friends, work life, coworkers, staying up late to play a video game because they just can't seem to get off of it, and maybe not being able to get up and go to work the next day. So I think it's proven that video game in moderation is definitely an okay activity, and may provide some for young hand-eye coordination, and provide jobs like such in the military, such as drones and things of that sort. But when it becomes an addiction, it's proven to become hurtful to themselves and others.